who you are helping with this knowledge, share this to your friends, your loved ones, share this to as many persons as possible. Yes, share, because knowledge gives wisdom, knowledge gives clarity. Wisdom gives what? Direction. You're here to get clarity on how you can invest and understand the US market. Mr. Farouk Usman, are you ready for us, please? Because we are ready for you. We're going to bring him on board. Thank you, Mr. Isaac, for the fire emojis. Thank you so much. Mr. Farouk Usman, are you ready for us? While we wait for him to come on board, I would like to also give you a brief rundown about what we do here at GTexthomes. GTexthomes is a company that has been in operation we started our real estate sector we've been running for like 8 years now. As a holding, we've been running for 16 years. And Mr. Farouk Usman is ready to join us. So please, the panelists, please do well to bring him on board so that we can have him. Please, can we bring Mr. Farouk Usman on board to join us on this session? IT department, please bring Mr. Farouk Usman on board. Please, a round of applause as he comes on board. Please, I need energy, please. A round of applause for Mr. Farouk Usman, who will be taking us on understanding. Yes, thank you. Good to see you, Mr. Farouk. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm great.
Thank you. I love the energy. Please bring it on. Thank you. A round of applause. Thank you.
Yes.
See, I will also start giving out gifts. This is good. I love this. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a privilege to have you once again in our webinar. Thank you. All right. So, the topic says understanding the real estate market for the foreign investors. Please, can you give us like an overview of, so you're talking about the US market, yes. So, can you just give us an overview of the US market to start with?
Well, I think that I have fortunately for you, I'm here with a lot of information, right? I'm here to share as much as I can. And today I'll basically be going through, I have a slide I'm going to be going through, just basically take us through the journey. Because at the moment, as we need to understand the diversification of investment. And for us particularly, what I'm here to share today is to show our journey on why we even decided to go into the US. What do we see in the US? What opportunities are existing in the US? Particularly for investors in the US, in Nigeria, in Dubai, wherever you are in the world. Why is US a good destination for investments? What makes it so spectacular? So just to understand the crowd that we are with today, can you just tell us your name and where you are joining us from so I can understand who this is for and why I pull up my slide? Just tell us your name and where you are joining us from so I can know who we are here. I'm sure you can also see the slide, understanding the real estate investment in the US for foreign investors. So just type your name. We have Angela from Lagos. You're welcome. Isaac from Lagos. It's really Lagos who we have here. Right. So just tell us your name and where you are joining us from. Joe from Saudi Arabia. Nice. Are you playing football, Joe? Let's know whether it's Saudi Arabia money you are bringing for us. Michael from Lagos. Joseph from Port Harcourt. You can also change settings for everyone, rather than host and panelists. So every other person can know who is joining us. So you can edit. When you send message, just choose for everyone so everyone can see them. We have Yusuf Upright from Lagos, Emmanuel from Calabar, Anthony from Lagos, Ibrahim from Lagos. You're welcome. So let's just go through it so we can stick to time. So understanding real estate investment in the US for foreign investors. So basically, let's start by knowing what do we want to achieve in this webinar? What are the things we need to know in this webinar? Why I'm here? And sorry. Yes, so I want to first talk about who we are. So about us, GTexthomes, one of our primary objectives is to be innovative, green and smart homes that encourages a lifestyle of wellness, luxury through the provision of facilities and infrastructure designed for your comfort and overall well-being. And we're currently in Nigeria, Dubai, the US, and the UK, and we intend to expand to different regions all around the world. And we have so many subsidiaries in the holdings company that provide affiliate and investment opportunities on the global scale. And for me, our vision is to become the largest developer of green and smart homes in the world. And the mission is to build these green and craft homes using innovation and technology. And our goal is to build 25,000 green and smart homes by the year 2035. And this is the reason why we do what we do, right? And that's the reason why we are today. So that's how we are in GTexthomes. And our core values are integrity, excellence, innovation, and energy. And these are our guiding principles to tell us who we are. And for everyone here, you need to understand what are your own core values. Why do you do the things you do? And for everything we do here in GTEx, these are the reasons behind it. For integrity's sake, um, excellence, innovation, and energy. So next question is, what do you need to expect from this webinar? First, we're going to be talking about brief overview of US real estate market, current trends and developments in key areas, challenges that foreign investors might face, including legal and financial barriers, key opportunities for growth and investment in the US market, and a showcase of landed properties and housing units are available for purchase. So this is going to be a very power-packed session. So if you believe it's a power-packed session and you're going to get value, just type, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to learn, right? We have Bamidele Joe from Lagos. You're welcome. So who wants to learn? Who wants to learn? Ready to learn, I'm not ready to move on. Guys, let's bring it in. Right, fantastic. I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to learn. Guys, we should not weaken my energy here. I'm here to deliver. I'm here to talk about the US real estate market. So whether you're an investor or you're just here for knowledge sake, or you're a realtor or you're an existing investor, these are little step-by-step guide that we brought here for you today to learn about the US real estate market. And basically, I'll just say, hold on. So let's talk a little bit about the US markets, right? So real estate market in the US is expected to reach a staggering value of $132 trillion by the year 2024. That's $132 trillion by the year 2024. And the real estate market in the US has various segments. We have the residential, which is poised to dominate with a projected market volume of 106.7 trillion in the year 2024, which means more than two-thirds of real estate in the whole of US is dominated by the residential sector. And for those of you that don't know what residential real estate is, residential real estate is all about where you live. That's the houses you buy for the purpose of living. That's residential real estate. Other real estate are commercial real estate. That's for your shops. Other real estate are also perhaps when you're talking about infrastructure, recreational areas, but particularly for residential, right? It's poised to dominate in the US. 106.7 trillion US dollars. And why it's important to go through these statistics for you to know the availability of the market share that you can actually buy. So in 106.7 trillion, how much do you want to own in the US market? Is it $1 million? Is it $500,000? Is it $20,000? Right? And the market growth is anticipated to exhibit a steady annual growth of 3.34, resulting in a market volume of at least $155.6 trillion by the year 2029, which means the value of real estate in the US is expected to grow by over 23 trillion by the year 2029. And it's worth noting that in terms of global comparison, US is projected to generate the highest value in the real estate market with an estimated worth of 132 trillion, of course, in 2024, which means there is no place in the world at the moment that real estate is going to be bigger than the whole of US. So some people may ask us, why are we going to the US? Of course, with this start, don't you guys believe that US is where you should put your real estate portfolio by the year 2024? Right? Can this slide be available? You want to steal my slide? This is intellectual property. But of course, we can do something about that, right? I can find a way to of course put it out so everyone will be involved in this. Let me leave audio here. Okay, that's fantastic. So real estate market is experiencing a surge in demand for suburban homes due to shift towards remote work. As we diverge more, we'll talk more about why that is important for us to know. So let's look a little bit of statistics, right? To talk about the real estate progress in the US from the year 2017 and projected to be in the year 2029. So as you can see this graph, 2017, real estate in the US was worth about $63.4 trillion. And following this graph, you can see between 2021 and 2020 and 2021, there's a huge surge in real estate from 77.7 trillion to 91 trillion. In 2023, and that was because of the it's still suffering from the post-COVID era, right? There was still some surge inflation. Real estate went down to 102.7 trillion. And as at this year, currently this survey was done as early as July actually. That was just last month. And it's currently at 106.7 trillion. And it's projected in 2025 to be 110.8 trillion. Sorry, what I'm talking about now is only residential real estate. Though. If you add it up to the commercial, it gives you a higher value. Do you understand? It will be easier to visualize with the presentation. Of course, you can see my slide. If you cannot see my slide, Angela, I'm very sure you can see my slide. Can you confirm you can see my slide, please? So you can visualize what I'm showing you. But what this table is telling you right now is that by the year 2029, real estate residential alone in the US will be worth $127.4 trillion, while commercial real estate will be worth $28.16 trillion. And if you add it up, remember we said by 2029, the whole real estate in the US will be worth over $155 trillion. And this just shows you the potential of investment in the US for anybody that decides to invest in the US. So whether it's in residential real estate, commercial real estate, you are very sure that real estate progression is going to go within the years. And that's what this one just basically tells us. So as we move further, let's talk about more about the growth. So we'll be taking a case study of Texas, particularly in the US. While the US is a very big sector, we want to make a case study of a place called Texas, just for us to just pick a place, because the US is very big. And for all of you that don't know, Texas, a state in the US, is bigger than the whole of Nigeria. Yes, if you don't know that now. Texas, a state in the US, is bigger than the whole of Nigeria, which means think about the potential of real estate in the whole of Nigeria. Now take it and put it in one state called Texas. And that's why we're not going to generalize in this presentation today and focus generally in Texas and why Texas is a good place for you to invest in real estate. So Texas is one of the fastest growing real estate markets in the US due to its strong economy, job growth, population boom. Cities like Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio have experienced rapid property appreciation. Texas is an attractive destination for corporate relocations, contributing to a steady demand for residential and commercial properties. And for example, Texas has been a top destination for both international and domestic migrants, contributing to increased housing demand and rental, right? Let me show you why Texas is a very good destination. For this slide you're seeing now, Texas offers numerous attractive benefits for corporate locations, such as favorable tax policies and growing talent pool. In fact, as we speak, Tesla has moved their headquarters to Texas. We have an NRG oil company moving to Texas. We have McKinsey to Texas. We have HP, HP Enterprise moving to Texas. We have Oracle moving to Texas. We have Exxon moving to Texas. Why are these people moving to Texas? It's because they have favorable tax policies. And if you follow the law of real estate, right? If you follow the commercial movement of people into a real estate location, what's going to happen? There's going to be a high demand for residential properties in that region. And because they have a very good moving there. And now the next question is, for those of you that want to invest in the US, why do you think Texas is a very, very fantastic location? And those are the reasons why we are breaking this down in this webinar, or why real estate in the US. So whether you're in the US, you are not in the US, you should consider these reasons for investment in the US. The second trend we are also going to look at going around the US is the demand for residential properties, especially single-family homes, multi-family units, and they've risen sharply across the years. What are single-family homes? For those of you that are in Nigeria or in the UK or around the world, single-family homes are what we call detached houses. So where is a fully detached unit, that's what we call a single-family home. Multi-family units are also maybe townhouses, condominium, that's what we call apartments, 3 floors, 4 floors. The demand for residential properties, particularly in Texas, the US, has grown simultaneously. because of the growing suburban migration and the rise of remote work, it means people no longer go to work a lot in the US. Many of them work from home, which means people are now more comfortable to migrate to a location, settle down, right? Especially in areas that have lots of land like Texas. And that's why the demand of residential has increased gradually in the US. In Texas, the residential market has thrived, with many buyers looking for larger homes with more space as remote work becomes a permanent option. So these are basically reasons why we basically believe real estate in the US is great. Some of the things we're able to do in the US. This is an example of a 20 units of three-bedroom townhouse that's a residential property we did in the US. And for those of you thinking of what type of investments can I do in the US, this is one. We call this property flipping. And what we do here was to look for an already existing rental property that is bringing in income. By the time we got into this property was going for about $950 every month in terms of rental income, between $850 to $950. And we renovated it, and just in less than a month, we were able to jack up the price from $850 to $950 to about $1,000 to $1,175 per month. And that's what property flipping does. Property flipping is when you go to a unit, right? You buy it, maybe it's old or it needs renovation, or you just need to improve one or two things. You improve it and then you jack up the rental income. For those of you looking for businesses you can do in the US, these are one of the things you've done. And we're not telling you to do what we've not done before. These are an example of what we've done. So our intention is to buy this and put it up for the market. All right. We sell it for someone else that wants to get rental income. However, by the time when it's not being sold, how do we keep a property from just lying shallow? This property has about 20 units, and currently they are fully rented out, which means while we have not sold, in case we have not sold any units, that same unit can be giving us rental income at the moment. And these are the policies and these are the kind of strategies you can implement in the US. So whenever you buy a unit in the US, you have to start thinking, what can I do with this property when I'm not available? Especially when it's a housing property. I'm not in the US. Can I rent it out? Can it be a short let? Can it be an Airbnb? Can I put a tenant there so that this property will not be lying shallow or lying fallow and I'll be getting rental income from this property? Um, let's go to the next slide. The third trend that is happening in the US at the moment is technological innovation. And for us, it's part of the things we incorporated in our own green and smart homes policies. So advancements in technology are changing the real estate landscape with innovations like blockchain for secure property transactions, smart home devices, online property management tools. In fact, investors are increasingly using technologies to streamline property purchases, rentals, and management, making the process more efficient, especially for international buyers. So, for example, you bought a unit in the US and you want to lease it out. It's important for you to find what kind of advancements can I put in that unit so that I can manage it from wherever you are in the world. It could be changing the door to a smart door. Meaning by the time you lease it out, you have to give someone a code to come into the houses. It could be making sure their phones, their smart devices in order. For us particularly, when we decided to get into real estate, we intentionally went into green and smart homes because we want to follow technological innovation. All our new homes we are building in the US now will be smart homes, which means from your living room, you can control your houses with the touch of a button, with a tablet, with a phone. You can speak, you can communicate with your housing. These are what people do just to follow the trends of technology in the household. And this is the third trend we've seen in the US market, particularly for the US market. And let me just give an example of what we currently control in Nigeria, in the US, in UK, and as well in Dubai. So for us in Nigeria, we have over 30 estates. We currently control about 8 million square feet of land, and we have over 800 certified clients across this estate. In Asia, that's in Dubai, we sold over 200 units of units in Dubai. We currently manage about 120 of these units, which means people buy these units. And then what we do is I will manage it, get tenants for them, and then they get rental income. In UK as well, we're in the UK, we're partnering with a lot of companies to act as a brokerage firm to get buyers for them. And in the America, we're actually expanding. Of course, we just showed you choice of farmhouse. We have about 76 units in principal 9 acres currently in Brookshire in Texas. that are available for sale and for development as well. So these are market share capital that we have currently. In fact, America is so big that by the end of the year, we want to launch at least 3 more estates in America. And that shows how heavy we are just to follow the trends of technological advancement and bring it to the US. And again, this webinar is just to show you why we are moving into the US, what you can key in, and what makes US a very, very fantastic destination for investment. The fourth trend we're also seeing is sustainability and green buildings. Sustainable building practices are becoming increasingly important in the US real estate market. Investors and developers are focusing on energy and efficient buildings, green certifications, and sustainable materials to attract eco-conscious buyers and renters. Many new developers in Texas are embracing these trends, which adds value to properties and make them more attractive for long-term investment. And like I said earlier, we're using Texas as a case study. In fact, Texas is the second state in the US in terms of green innovation and sustainability. So what are sustainable building practices? How can you use good sustainable materials, right, that do not create harm to the environment? How can you have green buildings that have energy and efficiency within themselves? How do you use renewable energy like solar panels so that you don't focus on materials, right, that causes harm to the movement? Since there was a global will be extinct by the year 2000 due to global warming, right? So what the UN is focusing on is that how do you have companies that focus on SDG goals that focuses on the green environment? And that's why a lot of people are quite conscious about the type of housing that are available. In fact, this same practice is what we are doing here in Nigeria. And that's why all our estates in Nigeria, we're having zero noise pollution, no generation. We're actually living most of the time as well. We'll be running solar panels. We're not connected to the national grid. We're not using generators, right? No smoke, no noise. These are sustainable building practices that you can incorporate in the living, especially in the US in the next few years. And these are another trend that we've seen in the US market, right? So we've covered that. I'm trying to rush through so that we can have enough time for questions and answers. So what are the challenges for foreign investors? The first challenge foreign investors usually have is legal and regulatory challenges. Now, for wherever you are, real estate around the world have different policies. For example, the US policy is very strict in terms of legal and regulatory challenges. For example, now there are some areas in the US that are for low density population, which means there are some places in the US that you cannot build anything more than single family homes. If they are building apartment structures, they will not allow it. Why? Perhaps to that area, transportation to that area is mostly private. There are not a lot of train lines. There are not a lot of buses going to that area. Now, we believe that, for example, an area that is marked to have an area, which means we're expecting about 8,000 of them to have cars. We now go and start building apartments that is housing 100 people, 200 people. The first problem the American government have with it is that, first of all, you are going to increase the population of those areas. And because you are building mass housing, the housing in that area is going to be cheap, which means, and America do not, because of what they've done in that area, they've not created enough traffic for commercial buses to take you to those areas. If you don't understand this, whether you're a developer or whether you want to buy a land in the US and build on it, and you're not conscious of these things, you are going to get into legal and regulatory challenges. Other legal and regulatory challenges people also find is that they don't understand the concept of change of ownership in the US. And to be fair, the US change of ownership is quite easy. You buy a land, you're done with everything. All you have to do is just register with the county, and the house or the land you buy will be registered in your own name. So foreign investors do understand these things. And for you to buy a property in the US, you have to seek legal counsel. Either the person you are buying from has this knowledge, or you get an external counsel to work with you. I was trying to work with a real estate lawyer in the US, and I was quite surprised at what they charge. And all our legal people here, maybe you have to go and move to the US. They said they were going to charge me $125 per hour for consultation. $125 per hour for consultation. We have not even discussed about what they are going to do for us, just to sit down and consult. $125. And I thought about it. If that's how profitable law is, let me start that business now, right? But if you don't understand these legal and regulatory challenges, you're going to run into trouble. The second problem investors have while investing in the US is financing challenges. If you are a resident in the US, you can get a mortgage. But if you are not a resident in the US, it's going to be difficult for you to get a mortgage. It's not as if it's impossible, it's not impossible. If you're going to get a mortgage in the US and you're not a resident, you can work with private lenders, right? Of course, you have to check your track record. What have you done? If you're able to bring some of your bank accounts from the UK, from the US, you have consistent cash flow. The only downside to this is that they'll be giving you a higher rate than what the bank is going to be lending you. So, for example, let's say the bank ongoing bank rate in the US is about 8 to 10%. An external lender will be giving you between 11 to 13% because the risk is higher. And of course, the beautiful thing is that the collateral is lesser, but they may be willing to do that. So if you are going to the US, because you're a foreign investor, most people prefer you pay all cash. For those that don't tell you to pay all cash, they can give you perhaps a payment plan. So for us here in GTEx, we've been able to give people about a year for them to spread payment whenever they are investing in the US. But if you're going to invest in the US, you have to be sure that you're going to either have financial challenges if you do not have all cash. Also, going back to the regulatory and legal challenges you're likely to face. If you're going to buy from someone in the US, unlike we have in some other locations, each state in the US have licensed brokers to work with. So, for example, you're trying to partner, bring in a buyer, going to the US market in New York, you can only work with a licensed New York broker. If you want to buy in Texas, you have to work with a licensed Texas broker. If you're going to buy a license in Florida, these are little legal and regulatory challenges that people necessarily face that they do not know, and they get frustrated when they have to talk about 10 to 15 different agents. Just there are some areas that have high tax and low tax. And like we're talking about the Texas market, Texas offer low tax. And that's why people are moving from places like New York, especially companies, down to Texas because they have low tax, especially when you want to set up company in the US. You need to understand the region you want to buy, what are the tax implications of those places. The fourth challenge people always find is also cultural and market differences. So if you're invested in the US, you want to rent it out. You have to understand that you have to work with someone in that market to help you collect your rent. Because they need to be able to liaise with those people over there, right? Maybe you are used to the Nigerian market, you used to the US market. You feel like the landlord, you have to can just go by and say, yeah, park out. You can't do that in the US. You have to serve them notices because they pay per month. Some of them will have laws. There are some states in the US that some, if you are not in your house for 3 months, they can move in and spot, and you cannot tell them to leave. I think that happened in Florida. You have to understand their cultural and market differences. When I saw that, I was very shocked. It means if I'm not in my house for 3 months, right, someone can move into my house and live there, and I have no right to chase them out. I can pay them to move, they can move, but I have no right to chase them out. And the law backs them up. Some places in the US, the law backs them up. If you don't understand these cultural and market differences, you're just going to be frustrated with going into the US market. The last part is the type of investment you need to go into. Many investors don't know the type of investment suitable for them. They're always concerned about price. And there are different ways you can go in. I spoke about property flipping. I spoke about having short legs. Other types you can also have is residential real estate for rental income. You can also have commercial real estate, whereby you buy a place in terms of shops. And in the US, even owning 10, 15 units is already considered commercial because it's a money generating income. For us here, we think commercial is only about buying shops. But no, in the US, if you own between 10 to 15 units, it's already considered as commercial real estate. Another way you can also do is actually buying land in terms of maybe land banking in the US. That also exists. Buying land in developing areas that you've done in other regions and wait for it to increase in value. And then you can either develop or you can resell. So foreign investors have these challenges when going to the US market. And that's why we're having this webinar to talk about these challenges and talk about different real estate opportunities you can have in the US market. And like I said, the first part, you can also look at the single family homes. And like I said, single family homes are your detached buildings, your duplexes, particularly in suburbs of great cities like Austin and Dallas. These properties offer steady long-term appreciation and are in high demand as more people relocate for jobs and better living conditions. So you can have a property sitting on the 5,000 square feet, right? And the building is about 2,000 square feet, right? That's what we call a single family home. They like a lot of space, green areas sitting on those property. They are called detached buildings. And they're in high demand, particularly in Texas, because these properties have high resale value, right? That have long-term appreciation, particularly new buildings. Another part you also want to know is about multi-family buildings. Texas has seen an increase in demand for multi-family units, which can generate strong cash flow and ROI due to rising rental demand, of course. And that's your townhouses, your condominium apartments. The third part is also land development. Buying land in rapidly growing areas like Texas allows investors to capitalize on future development opportunities. The key word is future development opportunities. As infrastructure improves, land values can increase significantly. And the beautiful thing about this is for people who have low, for example, if you want to buy a single family home in Texas, for example, a new building for about 3 bedroom, you'll be looking at between 350,000 to about 450,000. If you're going for 4 bedroom, you're looking between 400,000 to as high as 500,000. So if you're looking at buying land for example, an acre, you can be looking between 200,000 to about 300,000. And that's why there's a land development option. And some of them expect good payment plan for you, right? So if you are considering investment in the US, these are ways you can also consider before you invest. The next part we're talking about is US government policies that are favorable to foreign investors. So you're a foreigner in the US. What policies do we have in the US that favors you as an investor? We can talk about the US government EB-5 Immigrant Investor Program that allows foreign investors to obtain green cards by investing a minimum amount in the US commercial enterprise, which can include residential real estate development. You can remember when I talked about in the US, what they call commercial is multi-unit, is income generating. And for US, what is important for them is that so far you can create jobs or employment for people in the US who are willing to allow you to come in. And that's why there's an EB-5 program. Particularly, the minimum investment they allow for this is about $1 million. But there are other ways around it. In case you have a partnership portfolio, investing in a $1 million project can also help you with this immigration process. Now, you need to speak to an immigration lawyer for this to see your eligibility, to see how this can work. But foreign investors have these policies in the US that can help them for this. The next part is also, additionally, certain states offer tax incentives for foreign investors, such as tax breaks for new developments or investments in designated opportunity zones. So if you are investing in some places in Texas, for example, you have tax breaks. Particularly, we are focusing on new development. Now, if you are having rental, let's say you are getting a rental income about, for example, now our unit in Valdosta, let's say $1,200 per month. You will need to pay tax, and that's your gross income. At the end of the month, your take home can now be about 1,050 at the end per month. You need to pay all this tax, and you may not need to pay directly, right? Some can be collecting rents for you and paying this tax. We are going for new development, land development. You can get some tax breaks because you are providing jobs and you are developing. So these are policies that are quite favorable for foreign investors that residents already enjoy or do not enjoy. The next part to also look at are what are the future trends in real estate, in US real estate. Urban redevelopment. Cities around US are investing in urban redevelopment projects, providing new opportunities for investors to purchase properties in up and coming areas. And that's why Texas is a very good place for you to invest at the moment. For us particularly, it is along urban redevelopment, purchasing in up and coming areas, right? A work from home trend. The continued rise in remote work is likely to drive demand for homes in suburban and rural areas, especially in states like Texas, where people can buy larger homes at more affordable prices. You cannot buy a home for 375,000 in a place like New York? No. Like a place in Florida? No. Like a place in Miami? No. Or in places like Texas, you can get that. And you're very sure because a new building in coming years, the value of that place has increased. I'm going to pause here, right, just to get feedback, right? If you learned a lot, just write, I've gotten value, I've gotten value, I've gotten value. And if you have any questions, you can type in the Q&A session before I proceed. So if you've gotten value, just type, I've gotten value, I've gotten value, I've gotten value. So I can be sure people are getting value here. Is Mr. Rana here? I'd like to have Mr. Rana come up. Yusuf, can you send a message and a reminder to Mr. Rana? And send the link to him again so you can join. Isaac got a massive value. Jake, I'm getting value. Who else? Only 2 people. Okay, Mr. Rana. Okay, maybe it's the link that was sent. Let me confirm. Let's bring Mr. Rana to the panel session. Mr. Rana, are you here now? Are you on mute yourself, sir? Your name is showing Yusuf Shabi. Let me pause my screen and we'll have Mr. Rana. Mr. Rana, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you, Thank you very much, Mr. Farouk and Blessing. It was a wonderful presentation. Can you hear me, Mr. Farouk?
Okay, so Mr. Rana, can you just tell us about your experience particularly? Yes, we can hear you. Can you just tell us about your experience, particularly within the US?
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I see a lot of people have joined us from various locations. Just for the sake of introduction, my name is Rana Ijaz. I'm joining you from Dubai at the moment. I'm a group CEO for GTextholdings. I have been to Nigeria a couple of times. So worked with an amazing team on ground. So my background, I'm a US CPA. I have spent a lot of time in US, in Florida and Texas particularly. I used to work for a financial advisory, one of the big 4 from Deloitte and Touche. Maybe you're aware of that. So that gave me a lot of opportunity to travel to America and North America. So I know the market. So afterwards, I was exposed to investment banking and real estate market in the Middle East with extensive traveling around the globe. So it's a wonderful opportunity to have an audience like you. I think Mr. Farouk covered it all, most of the US market, you know, the challenges, the opportunities it carries. The one thing I tell you about the US, it's a different market altogether, other than entire globe, I would say, you know. I originally come from Asia, I come from Pakistan. We know India, Pakistan, China, and Asia is a different market. Real estates is fundamentals are similar, but it operates in a totally different way. Then being based in Dubai in more than 2 decades, we have seen Dubai used to be called bubbly market. So up to 2009-10, you know, it was always said it's a bubble, it will burst, and we saw the corrections coming up. Then we saw that regulatory framework coming in and market stability. But US is something altogether different. It's a bigger, stable market, and you can really multiply everything in US. The financing options, stability, growth in the US market is unparalleled to anywhere in the world. So that makes this market very, very unique. And particularly the housing options, which Mr. Farouk touched about, is a unique area where I think there's a huge opportunity. And in Texas particularly, which is the population is growing, I think is the largest state in terms of population growth, around 2%, if you compare to other states in the US. And in terms of the job opportunities and population growth, so that's another area where we can help our customers, I think. There are fundamental benefits of investing into the US market. I would say number one is a stability, it's a growth. You rather and I don't know how many people are aware of those tax benefits. If you're buying a house, you're paying a mortgage, you can have that tax benefit in your yearly tax return. You can take that payment, your mortgage payment, out from your yearly tax return. So that's a huge advantage. Even if you want to sell your house after certain years, in the capital gain tax, if you talk about IRS, always allow you up to $250,000 take out for a family, a couple. So again, that's become the savings for you guys. So US is fundamentally different and a huge scale real estate market. So what I would heavily encourage the people in Nigeria at the time, where Nigeria is passing this volatile time, who can have some disposable income, look outside Nigeria along. There are so many options within Nigeria, but if you want to have some savings outside the country in dollars with more stable economy and growth, US is the market where GTax is already there. We can help in various ways. We have housing options available. You can invest your money and get rental yield from the day one. So Mr. Farooq touched base some of the options, and we are going to acquire some other, collaborate or acquire some other estates. Richmond is one of the beautiful state we are coming up with. The second option, there 99 acres, 9 acres he mentioned, and there's a plan to acquire 2,000 acres under discussion. So if you want to become part of those real estate projects, we have a wonderful platform. We have a US SEC filed full platform, GWest Global International, GWest US Limited, full transparent platform. You can invest with us. And because you can avoid all those hassles which Mr. Farooq mentioned, if you're a beginner, you just go to any country like US, you don't understand that regulatory environment, you don't understand the tax challenges. So really, being a new investor in the US, you can get at loss. So we can make that life easy for you guys. So we have a full-fledged platform where you can make an investment from $50,000 onwards in a secured structure and become part of the growth. And 3 to 5 years, the returns are unparalleled and tremendous growth in terms of dollar returns. Typically, in the US housing market, there's a capital appreciation. If you're owning a house, 6 to 7% has been average US housing capital appreciation. So that's not bad in terms of you are living in your house rather than renting. So you can have, and if you are end user, why to pay rent? You're burning your rent, rather own a home and build an equity over the time. So that's another huge advantage. And a unique feature about US market is it's a quite predictable and stable market. I haven't seen like some big surprises in the US market. There have been challenges. Interest rates are high these days, so people have been struggling on the financing cost side. But overall, US market has been very, very stable and predictable. Stability and predictability, easier financing option makes it unique. And GText is growing big in US. Dr. Stephen, our chairman, was in the US last week. And we're doing Global Wealth Conference soon there in 4 weeks' time. So a lot happening on our side. We look forward working with all our valued clients. If there are any particular questions, requests, please, you can put in your chat box. We're happy to answer. Mr. Farooq.
Thank you, Mr. Rana. I just wanted us to hear a bit from you, and just to reassure people and while I just continue more on the product. And I'm particularly talking more about you spoke about 99 acres. So let me just give you a brief explanation about that for those that don't have the information about what we're doing in 99 acres. Basically. So these are just basically lists of celebrities. Some of celebrities walk throughout the years. Of course, we work with a lot of celebrities just to bring credibility to the company. So this is an area view of the 99 acre property. Of course, it's a 99 acre property, which means this is not one of the views. It's just one of the views, right? And this property is quite massive. There's a lake that runs through the property as well. And this one is located at Brookshire, Texas. It's a 99 acres. Yes, you know what a 99 acre is. It's massive. It's large. It's quite large. And we're just looking at the areas within the Jasper Brookshire. And what are the landmarks that surround it, right? So it's in Brookshire, Texas, very, very close to Richmond. This is just the area view of the industries that are around. It's just adjacent the Brazos River. There are a lot of places here. There's a small strip airport around. There are schools around. There are a lot of industries around as well. And we're looking at what are the cities within 38 miles, which is just 30 minutes around this area. We have Katy. Katy is about 30 minutes, and within 30 minutes. We have Richmond, we have Stratford, Missouri City, Rosenberg, Peckham Grove, Sunburn, Bel-Air, West University, Dallas, Texas, Watson, Houston, Texas, Aldine, Brenham, and many of these places are not very known if you are not in the US. And like I said, Texas is bigger than Nigeria. So you can imagine all these places within Texas, which are quite popular as well, just to show you the landmarks around this area. So for what opportunities do we have that comes with investing in Jasper Brookshire Gulf Estates, right? Of course, foreign investments for people outside US, creating an opportunity to diversify portfolio. And that's what Mr. Rana also spoke about. US has a stable economy. And it's always important for you to diversify your portfolio in investment, particularly in the US. Land banking in thriving communities allows ROI over 100% within the first 12 months and a potential 300% over 36 months. And we're going out around steps that makes investment in developing areas is because you can buy land there and get an increase in value as infrastructures improve. Access to construction loans from institutional investors for developers who want to develop their property. So you buy land in this area, you can actually access loans from institutional investors, whether you're a resident or not. And of course, I spoke about the fact that you not being a resident in the US, you can access private investors loans. And again, it depends on the percentage between 10, 13, 14, depending on the lending rate at that moment. Land in a well-planned service community. For us in Jasper Brookshire Estate, if you're going to purchase from us, you're buying from our own service community. We have a lake in it, we have a golf range, we have community areas, we have green areas that focus on this trend. Remember, we're going through 4 different trends in the US. We're implementing all of them in our estate just to increase the value and ensure you have land that is well protected. Land ownership is also seen as a hedge against inflation, as property value tends to rise with inflation, preserving the purchasing power of the investment. Particularly the fact that these things are in dollars. It means wherever you are not concerned. For example, for the past infinity years, right? Dollar to dirhams has been, I think, 3.47 for over 20 years that are in real estate in Dubai. It's not the same in Nigeria. But what is the constant thing? Dollar is quite consistent. And because even if there is inflation in the US, the property increases. So land ownership is always seen as a hedge against inflation. And that's what we also call land banking. Owning land provides developers with complete control over the type of development, design, and the pace of construction. This allows for flexibility in creating properties that meet market demands. So you want to invest in the US, and you're scared that if I buy a house now, what is the next 2-3 years? The house is the old house. I'll need to develop. You can invest in the land. The land is the land. In 5 years, 10 years, you can build what you want to build. You can build at your own pace. You can control the sanitaries in the house. You can control the type of tiling because you own the land. Also, purchasing the land in Jasper Gulf Estate, Brookshire, can be more affordable than buying a fully developed properties. This offers an entry point for those looking to invest in real estate without the high upfront cost of developed properties. Needless to say much about this. It means you are buying at a very low price because you're buying at an entry point. These are just a bit of amenities that we have in this estate: service estates, green areas, green technology, smart technology, sewage system, gym pools, golf range, security, transport network, pools, sports center, dual entrances. US have their own policy in terms of infrastructure. You have to go through some infrastructural permits. So you are sure these things are done up to standard. If not, you're not going to get a permit for it. And that's what makes sense when you invest in a more organized community. Right? This just shows a little bit of what we are doing, which is the Gulf where we're having our estates. So for those of you that want to purchase, these are the steps to follow. First of all, you fill an interest form, and then we'll send you a letter of interest. You receive the offer of interest, you accept our offer, you make a deposit. Based on a deposit, we now draft a contract of sale or a lease of agreement, and that proceeds. At the end of it, we can now talk about giving you a title deed in your name, and of course, changing the name on the land to your name, which means at the end, you're going to have a registered name. For example, your name is Mr. Isaac. At the end of your transaction, we'll go to the county and register you. Mr. Isaac owns an acre. As simple as that. Those are the steps. I think someone asked a question like that. What are the steps for acquiring? And this is the purchase price, right? 99 acres. We're selling an acre for $150,000 per acre. And an acre is about 400 square meters, which is about 43,000 square feet. And that's a lot and a lot of land. In fact, you can subdivide it into not even six. A plot is what you call a plot is. A plot is not, there's a standard amount of what a plot is. But for misconception, a plot is measuring. And that's why the term is always a plot measuring, not a plot of, there's no standard size. Of course, there's a common standard size, but it's always written a plot measuring. So you can have a plot measuring 3,000 square feet. Our 76-acre property, 76, sorry, housing units want to build in Richmond. Each of the lot size is 3,000 square feet, right? So you can divide 43,000 by 3,000. You can know how many units you can see from that, which means you can have at least 12 to 13 single family homes on this land. 12 to 13 single family homes fully detached on this land. That just shows the possibility of what you can do. If you don't want to develop, remember, if you want to develop, we can assist in ensuring you have loan from institutional developers. If you don't want to develop, you want to hold it, you can hold. You can resell half. You can build your house in half and go into commercial real estate, build some houses and get rental income. We have flexible payment options. I think someone asked, you can pay in 3 months, you can pay in 6 months, you can pay in 9 months, and you can pay at 12 months. And for someone that asked the question, there's zero interest on this payment platform, on this flexible payment. So you can get in at 50%, 30%, and spread your payment consistently for the next 12 months. That just makes it more affordable. For us, particularly those of you outside the US. I'll answer your question. These are basically payment plans. You can pay directly to our Wells Fargo account in the US. You can pay to our DOM account in Nigeria. These are just basically transaction details for you to do. I'll share this for you to see so you can have this and look through it. And there are basically some FAQs regarding these properties. The location of the property is there, the size of the property is there, zoning regulations. You can accommodate single family homes and townhouses. And final zone is always subject to plating approvals. And what are plating approvals? And this is very important. Plating is what we normally call a survey here in Nigeria. So normally you get the land, you subdivide the land into different plots, and that's what we call plating. And there are two versions of plating in the US. There's the horizontal and the vertical plating. The first plating you're going to plat is now, I want to divide this plot into your 1 acre now. You can say you want to build one house on it. No problem, you don't need plating approval. You only need one plating approval. That's the vertical plating approval. That just shows I want to build a house on this. They just look at your building plan, give you building permit, That can take you about 6 months for that, and they give you that. The second one can now be you want to now divide your plot into 6, for example. They just basically ask you, what are you putting, what is the size? You go through that approval, they tell you, okay, you can only do 3, you can only do 4, you can do 10, you can do 20, and it's subject to that platinum approval. So that's what we explain by platinum approval. There are utilities available on site. Infrastructure is covered with what you are purchasing. Sewage, power, gas, all those things will be done in the estate. You're only concerned about the lot that you buy. We call it lot size that you buy. Immediately you purchase, of course, you can build as soon as you get the necessary permits and approval from local government and planning authorities, you can basically build. And this property is not prone to flooding. You can look it up, you can check FEMA, Department of Homeland Security. You can put this location there, you see that it's not prone to flooding. And you can subdivide, like I said, into different lots. And someone asked a question, if 3 people come together, of course, 3 of you can come together and buy. But realize that what I recommend for people to do is that you can buy under a company name and allocate equal shares to that company. That way, that property will be in the company name. Except 3 of you want to buy and now subdivide into 3 and to sell to each other. You cannot do that your company is not selling to 3 of you. Of course, you can do that. But for us, what we're really focusing on, because of the name, title name of the property. And when you want to register the name, you cannot register in 3 people's names. Sunday, PC, Paul, right? Ineka, Paul, Hazan. You can register that in that. So yes, 3 people can come together and buy. What is important for us is that we sell to one person front or a company front, or 3 of these names can be on that document. That just shows you are selling an account. How do I begin a purchase subject? You can reach out to our salespeople. Like we also said, we just showed you what the sales process. Whenever you're talking to a marketer, they can help you through this process. And again, we're giving different options. If you're not interested in buying land, you can invest in this project. And here are the payment plans for you to invest. You can invest a minimum of $10,000. These are the returns that happen every 18 months. We give returns every 18 months. So you can get 10% for, there's a mistake here, 10% for $10,000 every 18 months. If you're doing 20,000, you get 12%. If you're doing $1 million, you get 25% every 18 months. And this offer expires 3rd of September. Effective from 3rd September, the minimum investment to be having for this project is $25,000. So I don't have $150,000 in a year, but I want to invest. And the beautiful part is that you can invest your way into buying a land, right? Imagine you invest $100,000. At the end of 6 years, you have $172,000. You can now afford to buy, keep acquiring, and you can now decide to do what you do. Tenure is 3 to 6 years. You can invest for 3 years, 4.5 years, or 6 years, and then we'll pay your ROI every 18 months, or we'll pay at the end of your tenure, depending on the plan you want to go for. And of course, these are just contacts. You can reach out to me. You can chat this number on WhatsApp. You can reach out to me again. You can send an email to info@GTexthomes.com, or you can go to this website to basically check more about this. So this is the project. That's just a description of what we're having in Berkshire. Of course, our units in Valdosta are still available. 250,000 for a townhouse, 275,000 for an end unit. And of course, we have some off-plan projects in Richmond. I'll be selling at 375,000 for a 3-bedroom, right? And of course, you have 1 year to pay, and then we can work on something for you. All right, before I answer your questions, have you gotten value? Let me just look at the questions I have here. How do you get this client to believe and pay for properties in question? Mr. Somto, you can schedule a presentation with I and my team, and of course, we'll be able to help you convince your clients on what one needs to do. If 3 people can come together and buy an acre, how will you title? Like I said, there are different ways. You can register in 3 people, right? Or you can create a company. It takes very little, allocate equal shares, and that's it. So when one person wants to back out, you just sell the shares to the other people based on the value of the company. can allocate 1 million shares and share between 3 of you. What's the size of land that houses the 3 bedroom townhouse in Valdosta? It's a townhouse, so it is not a single family home, which means you have 5 units on one. Sorry, you have what do you call it? Yes, you have 4 units, sorry, on one row. Townhouse is also known as terrace. So you have 4 units on the land and you have about 5 different blocks. That's how I look at. So if you need to do that, we just look at the schematic document and allocate what's one works on. But like the single family homes whereby you can know you have 2,000 square feet or 5,000 plots of land, what you have here is people sharing. You know what a terrace is, right? A terrace is when you have different units sharing boundary walls. So you can have 4 rows of units, but each of them have a separate entrance. So that's the townhouse that we have in Valdosta, which I showed you a picture of. I'd like to know for investors that are looking to invest, let's say UK, what's the process they need to go through? What's the payment plan period? What's the down payment and interest? So for the UK market, this for US, right? But for the UK market, particularly for the UK market, you need to talk to a mortgage advisor. And UK only gives, okay, I think Mr. Rana also wants to give. UK only gives for people that are more residential in the UK, particularly for people in the UK. Mr. Rana, you want to answer a question?
Yeah.
You answer.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Farouk. I just saw the question, on the joint ownership. If there are more than one person, like 2, 3 people, the best idea would be, as you suggested, to have register a company where it's a very simple process. Just become 3 shareholders equal if you are equally participating in the funding, and that's the best way. Another way, we can always try to register in a common title, but better idea is to go with the company structure. And secondly, if there are any realtors in the meeting, I would suggest, if you guys have to have footprint in the US market, we can take all those initial hiccups out of your shoulders. We are already there. So you can invest with us with our, like you can purchase mini estates within our bigger properties. So we can make life easier for you. So there are options on that, and we are thinking to acquire another 2,000 acres. So there will be a lot more options. So realtors are also most welcome to collaborate. And secondly, let me tell you from my all experience, the dollar returns which Mr. Farouk mentioned on the GS platform is really unheard of. You can't find these kind of returns anywhere. If you look in Europe, if you put your deposits, you have to pay them interest. There are negative interest rates on your deposits. You have to pay money to keep your money in the banks. So if you see you're investing $1 million in 6 years, it's becoming $2 million. It's wonderful. So similar. So it's a try to grab this opportunity. I think Mr. Farouk mentioned 3rd September is a deadline for smaller investment brackets. So if you are looking forward, don't delay your decision. It's a secured structured model. We are a US SEC filed company. So this is an option. And thirdly, he mentioned, it's a wonderful pricing. 1 acre you are buying in 150K. And again, that is available on the flexible installment plans. That's a wonderful proposition. I think in 1 acre, if you are looking single, you can easily build 12 family homes, depending on the plotting size. So, and again, I mentioned earlier, the appreciation in Texas region is huge because population is growing. A lot of universities are there, a lot of job opportunities there. People are moving. Another unique feature is a new housing. If you see in the US and UK market, you find houses built over 50 years, 60 years. So these are brand new housing schemes, which will not only have multiplier in capital gains, you enjoy your living in the new housing areas if you are end user. Even for the investor's sake, you can always rent on a high renter yields. So, guys, if you are, so try to grab it. Don't delay your decision. This is an opportunity. Mr. Farouk, any other questions? I'm happy to take if you need me to answer.
No, I think you've given a lot of value already. And I think that's all from our end. Someone just asked a question in terms of commission for realtors. So particularly, like I said, you have to be licensed in Texas to receive commission to sell a property in Texas. But courtesy of GTEX and Associates, Mr. Agoke was, who is the head of GTEX, was able to negotiate for you people. And the beautiful part is that we'll be willing to work with a Nigerian company to be able to give as high as 2% commission on each sale that comes from realtors from wherever you are involved. However, we're able to pay through our Nigerian business. Remember, we said we wanted to work with land regulation in the US. If you pay from our US business, this will be termed as fraud because you are not registered in the US. But just to encourage those that are willing to request it to us, head of GTEX and Associate Mr. Agoke was able to negotiate and we are willing to do a 2% commission, 2% commission for land sale or investment sale. So that's it. Miss Blessing? Miss Blessing? You can take it over.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. A round of applause for Mr. Farouk and Mr. Rana. A round of applause. Can I see your emojis? Can I see your emojis? A round of applause. Thank you so much. That was a really insightful session. I really learned a lot about, the US market. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Goke, for negotiating. Thank you. All right. So, if you have any other questions, can you also drop them in the chat box? I'm sure some of you have questions. If in the process of listening to them, maybe you don't know how to express, maybe you have other questions you want to ask, please drop them in the chat box. Thank you so much, Mr. Farouk. As you can see, the US market is open for everyone. We've made it possible, courtesy of GTexthomes, we made it possible. So the US market is open for everyone, investors and even realtors. Everyone is winning in this project, okay? For those who do not even want to, partake in the land, that's the Brookshire, the land offers, we have the GVEST, that's the GVEST offer. As you can see, starting from 3rd of September, you're going to have those amazing, juicy offers for you. So take advantage of it. And for those of you that want I heard someone who says that he or she wants the slide. Please, can the IT department, Yusuf, can you drop the number that they can reach out to? If you have more questions, please drop the number on the chat box. If you have more questions, or you need materials that you need to market this, please do well to reach out to the number that Yusuf would drop on the chat box. All right, so we've spent over an hour plus. I'm sure I didn't even know because I was really enjoying the session. I was enjoying every bit of the session. I could feel I could feel the interest, I could feel the magic in the air. So please do well to partake of this. Don't snooze on this, don't lose out on this. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we have properties in the US. We have housing units, we have terraces, we have all kinds of products in the US. And not just products that you can actually make money from, products that you can actually, invest in. That's why we call you smart investors, because you're smart. For you being here alone, you're a smart investor. For you being here alone, you're intentional. So thank you so much, Mr. Farouk Usman. Thank you, Mr. Rana. Thank you, everyone. So, but before we go, please, can you play us, the IT department, can you play us a little commercial on, some of the products we have here in Nigeria? Of course, GTexthomes, we don't just do diaspora, we started our roots here in Nigeria. So we have some projects in Lagos, Nigeria, right? We have some projects in Lagos, Nigeria. We also have in Abuja, which we call Jasper Gardenia. So that is what we're about to show you. So do well to sit back and enjoy this advert. And if you have questions as regarding them, please do not fail to ask, as we'll be here to receive all of them. So play away. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you were here before we started the session, you'd have seen a testimonial of one of our clients who gave us, kudos on what we are doing. Trust me, what is happening in Ibejuleki and what is happening in Abuja, courtesy of GTexthomes, is amazing. And you can be part of it. See, the best time to invest in real estate was yesterday. The best time to buy a house or a land was yesterday. In fact, if you're investing today, you're already late, but take action now. You saw the offer of the day. That's for the UK project. You saw that offer. Do not snooze on this. Don't say you wait till next week. Don't say you're going to wait till, maybe you're waiting for something to happen. No. Invest now. Now, there are different offers for different products. The US offer, that's the one you saw with Mr. Farouk. He brought out the, those ones we buy in acres. The one in the US we buy in acres. We don't buy per plot, we buy in acres. So the acres, if you want to, collaborate with your friend, you saw the response he gave as regarding that. You want to collaborate with a group of friends, want to come together, and you want to buy the property. Beautiful, right? You know how you're going to go about that according to the response. But however, if you want to invest in the US market, that's the offer we have. You are to invest in acres, okay? But here, if you're coming back to Nigeria, that's for the housing units we have in Nigeria. That's for the one we have in Jasper, Gardenia, Ibejuleki, and the one we have in Abuja. We have a 4-bedroom terrace duplex offer in a 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom terrace duplex offer in Ibejuleki, Nigeria. And for Abuja, we have a fully detached duplex. That's a 4-bedroom fully detached duplex and a 5-bedroom fully detached duplex. And they are all off plan. And trust me, our clients that have invested are giving their testimonials every single day. The beautiful thing about this job is when people thank you, when they say thank you for investing with us, thank you for giving us this opportunity. I can remember a client of ours saying, thank you for making your dream our dream. So we are here to make homes a reality, and we are doing that fully smart, automated homes that it includes your lifestyle, your health, the serene. It's beautiful. So you don't want to miss out. So thank you all for joining us. Please do well to reach out to the number on the chat box. If you have any questions, if you want to get materials for marketing, if you need the brochures for more clarity, please reach out to that number right now so that you can take advantage of the offers that are being presented. It's a good thing that you're here, so we would call this a close. So thank you all so much. I would also want to say, do well to join us next week, or rather next month, as we bring in more offers, more amazing topics for us to talk about. Thank you all so much. IT department, you have the floor. So let's call it close. Thank you.
Door open.
I've actually come and experienced it live, and I'm blown away. Everything so perfect. It's not as if like a film trick, like all the things that has been sent to me.
I walk along many kilometers. I suffer all day. Now you there for my side, calling me for my life.
I have a client on site that came to inspect. She already bought this place, but she came to also inspect and see how far we've gone. And let's hear what she had to say about this place.
I haven't seen all the building. I've actually come and experienced it live, and I'm blown away. Everything so perfect. It's not as if like a film trick, like all the things that have been sent to me. Well, no, they were not real, but I can see it real, live and direct, and they were all very perfect. The finishing and everything, they're all good, and I really love it. Honestly, she has been telling me to upgrade, and I'm thinking about it now.
She's upgrading, she's not thinking again.
Thank you for Jessica. She has been my support and everything.
Thank you so very much. We're glad to have you here. Thank you so much. So you've heard it all. If you're thinking of investing in Jasper Estates, I'm not even saying anything. You heard from her. Yeah. Call the number showing on your screen. You can also book an inspection. We are always on site 24/7. Yeah. That's the standard we run over here. We'll be waiting for you here to have you, and so that we can create that beautiful experience with you. Signing out from Jasper, Jessica Martins. Bye.
James, have a good day. Bye.
Still get one for my right, to for my left. Call you for my right. If you say you want check.
All right.
Welcome to GTextland, where every corner is a masterpiece waiting to be discovered. Step into the serenity of Jasper Estate, your haven in Ibeju Lekki. Feel the sand beneath your feet at Beryl Beach Front Estate, your coastal retreat. Experience the charm of Sardius Farm City Estate, where nature and community blend seamlessly in AP. Discover elegance at Sardius Estate in Ijebu Ode, where modern living meets tradition. Live in luxury at Beryl Forta City, Kurudu's premier destination for urban living. Find your dream home at Prime Rose Estate, where sophistication meets comfort in Ibeju Lekki. Experience luxury living at Sardius Estate in Port Harcourt, where every detail is designed for your comfort. Escape to tranquility at Jasper Estate in Isheri, your peaceful sanctuary. Discover perfection at Sardius Estate in Guzape, Abuja, where luxury meets lifestyle. Indulge in elegance at Beryl Polo Estate in Asaba, where every moment is a celebration. At GTextland, we don't just sell properties, we secure your future. Welcome to your new beginning.